Six Talks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Six Talks.
We're back again, baby. Woo!
How you doing,
Let's go.
yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm hyped up because we have things to hold now.
We got mics for the people that can see.
So now I don't have something clipped onto my shirt, falling off. Like I'll have to put a goddamn magnet in my shirt before every episode.
Yusuf's
because
biggest
it's in here.
op was those clip-on.
Yeah, on God, I hated those so much. But now I actually found out something about production, that the mic is actually in here. I did not know how this worked.
What's the point of
Oh
that?
no, I just thought it was like a different system. I didn't know the actual clip-on thing was in there.
So you thought it was like a different mic?
No,
Or-
I thought it was just the mic system. It just it's its own thing. This is just how it was.
Like you
That's
thought it was
just
like
how
a
it
wireless
I don't know.
mic.
I thought this was this is sounding as well, right? Soundproofing, it helps that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I thought it was. I just it's also to cover the mic thing though.
Yeah, but
Otherwise it'd be ugly.
but also those things that we had helped with the mic.
Yeah. Okay, bro, allow me, bro. I'm not a producer. I'm a podcaster. This is what this is.
I'm both.
All right, bro. It took him 30 minutes to set up today, by the way. That's all I'm saying.
Relax, okay?
It took him 30 minutes.
It's a new system. Respect me.
It is a new system. It is new. But now we can see ourselves as well.
Yeah,
which is cool.
The production has gotten up, guys.
It's slowly but surely coming
sir.
up. You know what I mean?
Shout out to my boy Ali Karmali
Yeah.
if he ends up seeing this. Huge help.
Yeah.
But we got some good basketball to talk about.
Yeah.
For the people, it's the month of fasting, so Yusuf and I were at mosque and we were waiting to come home, and this brother made me do eco.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I made him volunteer. And actually help a community for once instead of sitting his lazy ass down
I always be
and doing
helping.
absolutely nothing. So he wants to blame me for that. He can go right ahead. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Screw you.
Okay.
I offered to help actually.
Listen, no, you did not. I had to get you. In fact, I was like, yo, I'm gonna do work. You're like, all right, I'll go and work on my X Factors. And then I see you come back, and someone's like,
Nah.
I have Nanji here to help volunteer. I'm like, what
It was your
happened to you
dad.
going? Yeah, my dad.
No, but no. Wait. I'm like, yo, call me if you need me. I'll be inside waiting because I thought you had to finish up stuff before you need my help.
Nah. Because what's it called? I needed his help at the moment. When, all right, tell me when you're done or something like that.
Nah.
And then you went, I'm working on my X-Factor. I'm like, all right, I guess it's not helping. And I see him literally not even 10 seconds later, he's walking back doing the walk of shame. And my dad's like, yo, yeah, he's gonna help out. I'm like, so what the hell happened within those 10 seconds? Right? He's like, what just happened? But yeah, the point is you help. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
I was clutch. My system was beautiful.
He's never helping again. That's all.
Anyways, back to the let's actually talk basketball, not
Yeah.
eco table.
Yeah.
As much as I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's start off on a good note with the episode. Cleveland Cavaliers 15-game win streak.
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
This is their
Second or third
of the season.
double
which is
digits, yeah.
Absolutely insane.
16-game winning streak.
I said earlier on in the season that they had frauds written all over them. I retract that statement. I think just more so people don't realize they also have had people in and out of the lineup.
They have, yeah.
And they've powered through it. I think a big reason for that. The thing is I know Donovan Mitchell's 7th in the MVP chart.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think he's top 10. I think it's Darius. I don't think they have a top 10.
Exactly.
I think the improvement of Darius Garland is the number one thing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've gotten so much better because Darius Garland was atrocious last season. He was really bad last season. Now he's been incredible. Evan
Mobley
Mobley's
as well. The
improvement,
offensive jump.
the offensive jump, it's insane.
Yeah.
Again, don't know about. He was, I believe, 8th in MVP. He's 8th in the MVP ladder right now, which is insane.
Yeah.
Above LeBron James, by the way, which is nuts to me.
Two players.
You know what I mean?
Yusuf hates.
I don't even hate. I just don't I don't hate on Evan Mobley, bro. I just believe he is overrated. And when he's being ranked above a 40-year-old who's carrying the Lakers, LeBron went out and now they're on a 5-game losing streak. That seems like a very valuable player to me. And you have Evan Mobley over him, who's the third option on the Cavs. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, anyway, he's a great player. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
I believe he's
really good.
I believe he's a
know
little
what
bit
you mean.
overrated now.
I think from the NBA point of view, it's the Cavs are so good, it'd be weird to not have anyone in MVP conversation.
Yeah.
But again,
So
it
give
can
it-
happen. You know?
Yeah, but why is what's it called? I
Mobley.
get he is the
Defensive
defensive player of the year. I get all of that, but I don't think that warrants him being that. I believe Darius Garland is having a better season than him.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
I don't
Darius
think
Garland, Donovan
it's
Mitchell.
close, but like
Yeah.
I think they're the same way. And I think if you told someone, "Yo, I have Darius Garland top 10 MVP," they'd call you crazy. But
Yeah,
then if you say Evan Mobley, they're like, "Oh yeah, I feel you." Like you know what I mean? It's I
both
don't
of them-
hate the guy. I just
Yeah,
believe he's a
both of
little
them-
overrated.
Both of them are being
great.
top
They
10.
should have been all-stars.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
should have been
Top 10,
all-stars.
both of them being MVP is kind of weird, but
Yeah,
at the
like-
end of the day, bro, it doesn't really matter because we know it's a two-man race.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be
You know,
Jokic
so,
or SGA. That whole conversation. So interesting.
staying on the topic of the Cavs, do you see them being able to kind of like do you see them as a pretender or contender?
No, well, they're a contender now.
Yeah.
Like, if you asked me like 3 months ago, I might have said pretender.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: like, Cleveland is just they're so good at winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've been down in a bunch of these games, bro. And that's what's so hard about like sustaining success for this long of a like period. Like when you're in these games, you will be down, bro. But it's
Exactly.
so hard to climb out of it, and they've done it
do
multiple
And-
times.
And the thing with them is that like in the playoffs, a lot of people say like 8-man rotation, but something you need is like good depth. You know, like you need.
I think they've got a good
and
eight-line
exactly,
man.
like Ty Jerome. You have DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
Like Dean Wade has been solid at times. I think he starts
That
sometimes.
DeAndre Hunter trade moved the needle.
Exactly.
That
Yes,
moved
for
the
sure.
needle.
Now let me ask you a question. If you're the Celtics, do you fear the Cavs?
Of course.
Yeah.
You don't.
100%.
They're the number one team everybody should fear, apart from maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder. But even them, like Cleveland won a game against OKC.
I would say if there's a team that can match well against the Thunder, it's the Cavs.
It's the Cavs because they have the same double big lineup.
Exactly.
Maybe that might be the new meta in the NBA, having a double big lineup.
Yeah.
To be fair to Boston, they need Kristaps Porzingis so that you can match that size a little bit. Because Jason Tatum could guard Evan Mobley. You know what I mean? But you need that size. You need that
Talking
size.
about
against-
size, oh my god. Kind of backtrack, but my 2K tournament.
Oh,
We had a 2K tournament, and your
Yeah.
boy, yours truly, went to the finals,
Yeah.
and your other boy lost in the
Lost in the
semis. So in the finals, the guy I was competing with, I went Mavs. I love having the double big, like you
Yeah.
spoke about in 2K, especially. It's a cheat code, boards and everything. I like having that one player I'm shifty with. So this guy was debating between the Cavs or the Celtics.
Yeah.
And he was pretty set on the Celtics, and I chose the Mavs, and he's like, you know what? Maybe I'll go Cavs. And I'm like, shit, yo, like I'm like, yo, if he goes Cavs, I'm kind of screwed because that double big meta won't really work.
You want to know what? You want to know something?
What?
The reason San Antonio wasn't as broken as I thought. So for those who don't know, I use San Antonio because Wembanyama is broken.
A cheat code.
But here's the thing: he wasn't. I was playing with it, and he wasn't as broken as I would normally see. So I'm like, what gives? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because usually with Wemby, you have to have two people on him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he hits a layup.
No, exactly. Yeah,
but
yeah.
like this wasn't happening.
Why? What's the reason?
So whenever I play 2K, right, I usually play it with one of my boys. And
Yeah.
I barely play now other than that. We use his rosters that he's created, right? So 2K's ratings are stupid as hell.
Yeah.
He made rosters, and I'll give him credit. It's actually pretty accurate. I messed with it. I think he's done well.
Yeah.
But basically, everyone's
Which
like a little
boy?
bit the OKC fan.
Oh, okay. Damn.
He's made Wemby a 98. So I'm used to using 98
98
overall Victor Wembanyama.
Damn, that's
so I was
so
spamming that. I'm like, why is this not working?
Yeah.
You know, and then I pass it out to Jeremy Sohan, who's useless in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like they're not hitting their floaters. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
And
that
then
makes sense.
I was playing OKC, who's actually pretty fairly rated in the game. You know what I mean? SJ is a 98.
Yeah.
Like Chet's pretty high rated.
They're
Shada's
nasty.
They're really
Let-
good.
Let me finish my story. So
Yeah.
basically, this guy's on the Cavs. I'm on the Mavs. So then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me debate the Celtics. So I'm switching. I'm like, ooh, the Celtics are kind of nice, and and he's like, he sees me this reaction, and like, he's probably going through his mind. He's like, yo, do I really want this guy to be the Celtics? Like, 85s all around.
Yeah.
So now I keep moving. I'm like, who else can I be? And I look at him and like, you're 100% going the Cavs, and he's like, Yeah, I know I'm not going to Celtics. And I've never felt more happy in my
This
life
guy,
when he
bro.
chose the Celtics because
Man.
I had Tatum on AD and I was taking him to school every single possession.
You are a very competitive person.
Yeah, I can't lose.
Like,
Yeah.
like what's it called? I was just there like. for
I'm not a
vibes,
sore
bro.
loser, but
Yeah.
I'm very competitive.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I when I lose, I'll be mad with myself,
be
but
mad
I would
at
never
yourself.
I would never like take it on someone else.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
like
don't get-
you won because of this. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
at the end of the day, it's like it's 2K.
I know.
It's
And honestly,
2K.
it's not even about the prize.
It
It's the
really
thing.
is
It's just
indeed.
about like knowing that I won. It's like the satisfaction.
No,
you know?
I'm good.
And
But
I'm like that for everything.
But yeah, we
it's
need to
fine.
do. We should do a 2K series.
I'm
like,
down. Yeah, you and I.
7. We could do like we could upload it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, during playoffs would be lit. Well, the one
Yeah.
thing I like to do with my brother normally is like whatever games are on, we beat
you
those
play it?
teams. You know what I mean?
We could do a series where before like the game 1 of every series,
Yeah.
we play that matchup in 2K.
Yeah,
like
I'm down.
one game,
and then we move up
and
to
then
the
we
fourth.
move on to the
yeah, and then we
move the
yeah,
bracket.
exactly. I'm down
and
for
see
that.
how it works.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll talk
Damn.
about that more off
That's
camera.
hype. That's hype.
Let's get hype.
Bro, actually, I like using different teams in 2K. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
Yo, I mean,
I like
exact-
using different teams.
Bro,
Using
literally-
the same team is so dead.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like this tournament, like
I get
you
bored, like, you know what I
exactly,
mean?
for sure. Like with my brother, I'm like, yo, let's play square, and then we get the Warriors. Let's say
Yeah.
you're the Warriors,
Yeah.
and I get the Warriors. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
As soon as someone's one team, we cancel it out. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Nah, that-
So we gotta
I'm
play at
down,
least
bro.
15 games.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm down. We can do that.
Steph is very fun to use in the game. I like using Dame.
His shot timing's kind of weird though.
Because
with
it's so
Steph.
quick. But once
Yeah.
you get it, oh my god.
Thank God I wasn't Steph in that
Yeah,
tournament because
yeah.
that leg was terrible.
Really? Yeah, bro. Everything was like so delayed as well. Whatever. It's whatever. Moving on.
Yeah,
What's your-
staying on like pretenders and contenders kind of.
Yeah.
One question I have for you is which underdog do you think has the best chance of like making an upset? So like
like an underdog in a
exactly.
series.
So like last year, for example, like the Pacers underdog, no one really expected them to make what they.
I predicted them to be fair, but
Yeah,
like,
you versus the but you didn't
Yeah.
predict them going. Moving
No,
on
no,
to
no.
the
I had
top.
them losing to the Knicks, but
Yeah.
I'll say technically an underdog. So the underdogs are technically going to be Indiana, Detroit, then like Atlanta and Orlando, or one of them playing teams. But I'm not picking playing team, gang. And then in the West, it would technically be Houston, even though there would be the higher seed.
Yeah, Grizzlies kind of. I still there.
Grizzlies, depending on who they play. The Warriors.
Yeah.
Like if the Warriors play the Rockets, I think obviously the Warriors are the favorites.
Yeah.
But like yeah, we'll say Grizzlies, Rockets, like
And then one of the playing teams.
one of the playing teams. I do think that two seed whoever plays the Nuggets is gonna be interesting because I mean it could end up being Wolves Nuggets again.
I am
and
saying
the Wolves
Wolves,
beat them
yeah.
last year.
Like again, I would go Warriors because like you know,
They're
but right
not-
now
they're not underdog.
right now they're versing the Rockets. Like the Lakers have really fell
Yeah.
off. We'll talk about that, like you know, going
'Cause
forward.
The West is so close. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
crazy.
mean?
The Warriors kind of, but like I feel like a lot of people are putting respect on their name.
Yeah.
With like you know
They're not
having
underdogs.
Steph, Dre, Butler now. I would probably say Timberwolves because a lot of people have not really.
Who are you underdogs against? You guys are underdogs against OKC. Obviously, you're not gonna play them probably.
Yeah,
You're
Lakers. I feel
underdogs.
like
You're underdogs
Nuggets.
against the Lakers and Nuggets, but not against the Grizzlies or Rockets.
Yeah,
Or Wolves, obviously.
but we wouldn't really face
Yeah,
the Wolves
yeah,
unless it's like.
So yeah, I'd say Minnesota. I'd say Minnesota's good.
Yeah.
I'd say Minnesota, and then in the East, probably Indiana. I
Yeah.
think they're the only team that.
But
could
would
possibly
you
do
think
it.
they're underdog if they're versing Bucks first round?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. That's a what's it called?
Apparently not your
Like-
your good matchup that you want to see.
You admitted it in text. You were like, "Yo, Loki, you were right about Pacers." Pistons."
Okay, but
So,
Pacers Bucks. You
it's
saw what happened.
fire.
You saw what
It's-
happened.
Yeah, listen, bro. I think
If it wasn't
if any team is gonna beat the Bucks or cause an upset in the East, it's gonna be Indiana. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
because I mean it was a close series last year
With no
without
Giannis,
Giannis.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And with some of these Indiana players playing out of their mind, which I don't know
I mean,
what
I'm
happened,
sure
but-
we'll talk about all of these as we go on the episode during our X Factors.
Yeah.
But I think if I had to choose one, it'd be the Timberwolves because their record does not speak for what. Like obviously they lost Cat, but Randall has fit his role.
They've
the
won
past
like
13.
7 in a row, no?
They've won 7 in a row, and also last 13 with Julius Randle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
which has kind of been crazy.
Julius Randle, what a weird player.
Yeah.
what a weird team.
Yeah, it is. Well, we'll talk
very
more
weird
about that
team,
X Factors because I have some things to say about them.
Yeah.
But my next question I have for you is, we're staying on the West side, you know, on the side of the West. How do you think it's gonna play out, like the West standings? At the end of the day, we know one thing, and that's OKC's first.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
how do you see it playing out? Where do you see, like the Nuggets finishing? Like if you pull up the standings right now,
Yeah.
like how do you see the shift in? Do you see like the Timberwolves making a push and like climbing over the Warriors?
Yeah. So in my eyes, health is a big thing, right? I think the Lakers, they're going to be dealing with that LeBron injury. He's going to come back and like be a little bit, they're going to ease him into it. Obviously,
Yeah.
you don't want to rush him. He's 40 years old. You don't want to like rush him back.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
100%.
For the you only got maybe 2 more years max.
Yeah.
Of LeBron James. You want him to be at the as close to 100% as he can be.
Mm-hmm.
But so I wouldn't say the Lakers move up. If anything, they move up to like 4, maybe 3.
Yeah, I would say that's possible.
Say Houston probably.
You don't
falls
think
down.
you think that
They're
means
very
the 2
hot.
seed?
They're very hot. They're a very hot and cold team.
Who?
I think Houston.
Yeah.
I think 2 seed is probably gonna be Denver in my eyes. I think Memphis. Memphis is very similar to Houston. That they're very hot and cold. I just trust them more to gain ground.
They have that like riser and like
Yeah.
John Morant recently, bro. He's been going off. I don't know if you've seen his recent games, but let me just read. I don't have his exact stats in the past couple of games, but let me read you his stats because I was shocked too. Like I think yesterday he put up. Yeah, so he 44 against the Cavs.
Nuts.
Insane. 28, 29, 32, 31, 24, 25, 29, 21, 23.
It's funny though. I see Memphis as kind of like the Knicks of the West, where they can't be good teams.
Yeah.
I feel like they always lose to a good team. Like all their wins are like them beating like the goddamn, like pace. I can't even say Pistons anymore. The Wizards, you know what I mean? Like that. Those are their and they were in that. Sorry, we're in a dogfight with Utah. Like it was only a 2-point win.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about.
Maybe
recently,
this
right?
week. Yeah, recently. So yeah, they're a very weird team, but
Yeah,
they get the job done
152.
against the trash team. So I trust them to gain ground. For 7 and 6, it's quite literally just who
gonna lose?
cools down, who cools down, because the Wolves are on fire and the Warriors are on fire. I think the Warriors are playing right now.
Yeah, versus the Knicks, they have
Yeah.
a 5-point lead,
They have a 5-point lead. How much time's left?
like 6 minutes.
Yeah, so
But the thing is with the Wolves, bro, their strength of schedule is really easy.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow they have the Jazz.
and yours is getting harder, right? The Warriors. There's
Not like our next 2 games are hard because we have Bucks and then Nuggets, or Nuggets and then Bucks. But the Timberwolves schedule is pretty easy. Like
don't
if
you play the Raptors soon?
yeah, we have the Raptors.
I know that.
So for the Timberwolves, it's Jazz, Pacers, Pelicans, Pacers, Suns, Detroit.
Yeah. Pelicans is like a free back-to-back. And here's the thing, bro. The Pelicans aren't even
And then
injured the hell anymore. They're just trash.
Yeah, let me tell you their April schedule. Nuggets, Nets, Sixers,
Yeah.
Bucks, Grizzlies, Nets, Jazz.
Who's this?
The Timberwolves.
Wolves. Yeah, it's a little bit tougher. But then
Kind of cooked.
when you're on a hot streak as well though, and
Yeah.
who knows, by then maybe the Nugget. Here's the I don't think anyone's gonna rest anyone though, cause like
The fines and stuff.
no, like what's it called? The race is gonna be that close.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you
for
could-
sure.
You could probably still gain ground.
Well,
by-
one thing I
in
want to say
April.
let me read out the Warriors schedule for you. So it's Nuggets, Bucks. That's the tough stretch that you were talking about. And then it's Raptors, Hawks, Heat, Pelicans, Spurs, and then it's Memphis. Then oh wow, the April's hard.
Yeah. But
It's
the Hawks is like a
it's
trap,
Memphis, Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets, Suns,
That's very tough.
Spurs.
And that's a desperate. that's a
Blazers,
desperate
Clippers.
Phoenix Suns team as well.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be fighting to get into that 10 seed. You know how sad that is that they're struggling to get into
I
10
know,
seed
it
with
sucks.
with the Dallas Mavericks, who quite literally might have to forfeit games. Like that's how
They have, like,
goddamn
7
injured they are.
players.
Dante Exum's out now. Like they literally might have to forfeit some of these games, which is
That's insane, bro.
insane to me. I've never seen anything like
Yeah.
that before.
I mean, talking about staying on the topic of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Obviously, we both have them making the 10th seed with the Mavericks being so injury riddled. But I don't know if you saw the quote that the Suns said everyone is going to be available except Devin Booker.
Yeah.
And what's your whole thought on that situation? Like, what do you see? Like, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I feel like every episode we're talking about the Suns, something going on. But the return asking price for a guy like Kevin Durant is like 3 firsts, 3
think-
picks, a young player.
I think if you're Phoenix, right, you don't want to go into a full rebuild because it's disrespectful to Devin Booker, by not letting him go. I think if when you move on from Kevin Durant, you do something sort of what the Clippers did, to where they didn't even get anything back from Paul George, but like, they let Paul George go, and they built like a team around. They got Chris Dunn. They got like
Yeah.
they got different players like Bogdanovich and this deadline, like Derek Jones Jr. You know, you build a team around him
Exactly, yeah.
to fit him. And you know, I mean, star power. Obviously, they have Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, but addition by subtraction, Norman Powell becomes the player.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
You know, maybe this unlocks Bradley Beal to go back to what he was once more. I don't think that happens, but
I think he'll be good trade.
Yeah,
I saw a report that he's open to a trade. Yeah.
well, I don't understand why we'd want to stay in a place where you are unwanted.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really weird that you're like, like, you know, they want to trade you, but nah.
There's gonna be so many desperate teams that would be willing to give a young player for Kevin Durant. Like, there's definitely gonna be so.
Do you see the Rockets getting into the mix?
Yeah, they wanted Kevin Durant. They have Phoenix's picks.
Yeah. I feel like they more want Devin, so I don't know how they would.
I think but they went out and said we want Kevin Durant at the beginning of the year. Obviously, this beginning of the year, it might have changed, but like that was the player they wanted. If Phoenix calls them, I'm sure they went be like, yo, we want KD.
I think Phoenix to the Rockets is the most intriguing thing, just because from both like perspective, it's because like they have your picks.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna be looking to make a deal after this playoff run. You know, they're a good team, and then I don't think they're gonna have a big playoffs. So I think they're gonna be open to make a deal. So that Kevin to the Rockets looks really like
Memphis and Minnesota were also teams that wanted or made a move for him at the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's gonna be a cool offseason. I think.
I'm really curious if the Warriors can still be in the sweepstakes.
I think KD actually just wants to stay in Phoenix. I think
he doesn't.
I think he's tired of moving, bro.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, you gotta think. Like, as a player, I'd be like, bro, I'm tired of going from city to city, man. Let me just stay here and retire. You know. In a perfect world, I think he'd want to stay in Phoenix, but like,
I think he obviously wants to win as well.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Did you hear anything about the Draymond and Kevin Durant interview?
No.
So Draymond asked, like, you know, like, obviously you had a deal to the Warriors, and why'd you decline that? And he's like, you know, like what the media said, it's nothing to do with the Warriors organization.
Oh yeah,
it's just like I didn't really want to move mid-season, which is like a valid point.
That's
you know
valid,
what I mean?
Bro. I wouldn't want to move. From goddamn OKC to Golden State to Brooklyn to Phoenix
to
like,
back to
Golden State. Like, you know what I mean?
And he's like, yo, you know, you guys are hooping. It was the best of both worlds.
No, he's not even going to Oakland. He's still going to a different city. He's going to San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, it's nuts. He would have gone to like 5 or 6 different cities in like his entire NBA career.
Yeah,
which is nuts. But. And for a player his caliber,
I was gonna say, is that one of like the best players to
be in that many teams? I have no idea. Like, it's not like he's Garrett Temple, bro. Like, he's Kevin Durant. So
or like a Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, it's a little wild to me. Ish Smith, Jeff Green. I'm just naming people. That
facts.
Team.
Yusuf, before the episode, you told me you had a new segment.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I want to do, guys. Everybody has a segment on their show where they highlight like a really good player, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to do something different because I am the ultimate pessimist.
Of not enjoying basketball.
I'm introducing the You Suck Player of the Week, okay? And here's the thing. This could just be purely based off stats. Yeah. It could be purely based on my opinion on someone who did something bad.
It's your player. It's your segment.
So my You Suck Player of the Week.
I know who it is.
The inaugural You Suck Player of the Week.
AJ Lawson.
No.
Oh, okay.
That I did think of him though. And it is for the same reason as AJ Lawson. It's Josh Giddey. Why are you playing well now? Why are you playing well now? I think Chicago, right? To be honest, if I had to go for an actual person, I'd probably go Billy Donovan or anyone in the. But I have to go a player for the first ever one. Josh Giddey is playing some of his best basketball of his career at quite possibly the worst time ever.
And just for the he's not saying
Josh Giddey has been incredible.
He's saying that Josh Giddey's so good that like he's screwing up the Bulls situation.
It up, literally.
I mean,
and here's the thing. I'd go, the other person, Billy Donovan. Like, because, bro, look at what Darko Rakovic is doing. Even if Sky Barnes is playing, he's benching him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Why is Josh Giddey going off? Why is he going off right now? They need to lose, bro. What is a 10C going to do for you? They're in basketball purgatory right now.
He is averaging.
And you know what?
He's averaging 23, 11, and
This could be Josh Giddey, but I'm also going to shout out Kevin Herter. Because why are you good now?
Kobe White's been
Zach
hooping too.
Collins, why are you good
Yeah.
now? They traded for you so you could lose, bro. Why are you good now? That's my question. That's a
He
sentence,
say this
bro.
from a Chicago Bulls
Yeah.
perspective.
For Chicago Bulls perspective, why is Kevin Herter coming and balling?
Sticking-
Yeah, you know what? I'm switching it up. Kevin Herter, bro. Because Josh Giddey, it's cool to see young guys go off. They don't give a damn about Kevin Herter. He's not even a part of their long-term project. He's just screwing up their tank. He's screwing up their situation for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
So I'm going Kevin Herter.
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
like the Bulls kind of claimed the 10th seed.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Raptors winning
With
so much.
with how trash our schedule is,
Yeah.
we're 4 games back.
And-
if they went on a 4-game winning streak, we've won like goddamn 6 of our last 10.
Yeah.
If they lose some of these games that they should have lost, it's
Like the
so
Magic-
close.
the
Like the
Magic-
Magic games, like
The Philly
like
game.
the Brooklyn game. Like, you know what I mean? Like that game was so close. If they do a pull Toronto Raptors and just don't play Kobe White or Josh Giddey Josh Giddey was injured, but Kobe White in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
they like what's it called? They're chilling.
Staying on like the topic of bad teams, how do you think the tankathon is gonna end?
Like in the East and the West. West, I said Phoenix. East. Here's the thing. I think sadly for my Toronto Raptors, I didn't expect our G Leaguers to be this good. Shout out AJ Lawson. Shout out Jared
facts,
Roden.
bro.
Shout out
I mean, if I have to
Colin
give
Castleton.
a player of the week has to go to AJ Lawson.
Yeah,
From
yo,
a two-way-
I'm being dead serious. He might actually win East Player of the Week.
Yeah.
He's 3-0. He's averaging like 25 points a game with like, I don't even know, like 6 boards, and he's been getting some assists too. Like, he's
Orlando
undefeated.
Robinson too?
Orlando Robinson, he had 1 good game, but AJ Lawson's been balling,
Yeah.
efficient as well. Like, if he goes and has another performance like that, and they win, which is very likely because we're playing, or not very likely, but it's possible because we're playing goddamn Portland. You know what I mean? Like
That's
he
a
might-
must-lose game.
He might actually win Player of the Week, which is wild. It'll be like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and AJ Lawson, you know what I mean? Which is crazy to me. But yeah, it's funny how my first ever "You Suck" Player of the Week
Yeah.
could actually be a nominee for Player of the Week
If you had to give like
based on stats.
like an actually you suck player, do you have that?
I do need to think about that a little bit. I would, you know what I'm gonna go with? I'm going with Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
Nobody is on the team right now for Philly who's getting in your way, and he still goddamn sucks.
Yeah.
And I'll say this because of it's a little bit of personal salt because of how he did against Toronto. But bro, he played goddamn Jared Roden, AJ Lawson, and a bunch of G Leaguers, and played like absolute trash. He got outplayed by G Leaguers, bro. You know how embarrassing that is? There's no one who's getting in your way. No Embiid, no Maxey, nobody,
Yeah,
bro. I think Adam Bona started, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
he has been.
Yeah,
He's
he
been
had-
injured and like
He had
kind of
13-5, bro, against the trash Toronto Raptors. 6 against Utah, bro. 6 points against Utah. You know how insane that is?
And then 13, against the Toronto
And
Raptors.
13 against
and
the
then,
Raptors.
And then he's been injured in and out of the lineup.
Well, he played 2 games this week. This is why it's You Suck Player of the Week, because the week before he had 27 against Boston. But we don't talk about that. We don't care about this week. And he sucked this week.
Just for the people that know the Draymond Green situation, Draymond just hit a layup over Cat and is hitting the night now.
No way. This man is.
Bro did it to Gobert. Bro did it
This
to Cat.
man is actually an embarrassing.
Look at
human
this.
being.
Oh my god, this is actually so funny.
That wasn't even over him. What is he yapping
on
about?
him.
Is it over?
On him.
Okay,
Like,
but is the game over? If he does the 9-9...
6-point game with 25 seconds.
Okay, yeah, it's over. Like, if he did that and they lost, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But out west, we kind of know what's happening. Mavericks are gonna drop to 11.
They might have to lose on purpose. That's still the
Yeah.
craziest thing to me. Like, I've never seen that in my life.
I mean, the Suns are playing the Raptors, so hopefully they beat us.
Phoenix, but you never know, bro. We beat them earlier. We beat them
Yo,
earlier. Like, I
Devin
don't
Booker
know.
versus the Raptor.
God damn.
Is it in Toronto or is it?
I believe it's in Phoenix.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're on a
the
road trip right now.
The Raptor will not be there.
He won't. Who knows? Maybe
Devin
next
Booker.
trip. I feel like Phoenix has like a fake Raptor go there, just like for memes. You know what I mean?
Does a
And
few
they get the gorilla, their mascot, to beat him up. You know?
That'd be
But yeah.
jokes. That'd be good content.
Yeah, it is good content. They've done it before.
Let's move on to the title of the episode.
Yep.
X factors for not every playoff team, every
postseason team.
So what we've done is like,
That includes Phoenix, by the way, because
Yeah,
they're technically.
because
we
like
didn't include
if
Toronto.
you're in the race, then you know.
We didn't include Toronto because like I don't.
Do you want to
they'll
start
catch up.
out east or out west?
I have East first. So.
Okay, same. I have east
Alright,
first
that
too.
helps out.
For let's start off with like the
bottom.
Yeah, the bottom.
Okay, cool.
Just not spend
Again,
too much
this is
time.
the only team that I did this for, but I didn't go for a player. I said Billy Donovan. And I said he needs to bench everybody and they need to tank and try getting out of the goddamn postseason.
Okay, so
as soon as possible.
So I went a different route.
Yeah.
I actually went like if
they
they're
were
in
trying
the
to win?
Yeah, if they're in the postseason. For me, it's gonna be Trey Jones because especially with the Josh Giddey injury, that's really big.
Well, I don't think Giddy's out long term.
I mean,
I'd
he-
still
yeah.
say Trey Jones is a pretty big.
Right?
Yeah.
With Giddey out, and then if Giddey's there, then it would be like Giddey because he's been averaging 23, 11, and 8.5. But I think Trey Jones to like again, I'm going from this as like a winning perspective. So if you need to stay afloat, Trey Jones, I don't know if you saw his last game with no Giddey.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up his stats. I don't even know how he played today. But today he dropped. Sorry, let me just get these stats. Today he dropped 19 and 6.
Great.
And then last game was his game that he went off. I think he had like 20 plus. Yeah, no, 18, 6, and 6. So, around the 18 mark. So he's going to be an X factor, I think, just sustaining for the Bulls as Josh Giddey's
If
out.
I went winning mindset, I'd probably go Kobe White just because I think that is their only scoring option.
Do you? We had this debate last season. Do you think he's an X factor because they kind of need him to win? Like he has to be playing.
Is that not the definition of an X factor?
I mean, last season.
Yeah, but then I get what you mean. Like every one seed would be like not the every first option would be the X factor. But like I'm just saying that as a matter of like I don't think it is possible for them to win unless Kobe White. You know what I mean? Whereas other players are like they will like the reason I don't say a first option for like Milwaukee is because like this other player will help them win the series. You know what I mean? And this is a singular game. This is gonna be a playing tournament.
Sure, to be fair, because like, what are we doing?
It's Chicago, bro. They're not making. They're losing to Miami. The Miami versus Chicago will be the worst playing game of all time.
Who's the X factor for the Heat for you?
The Heat. I went Tyler Hero, similar to the Kobe White thing. I think Tyler Hero in the past. He has not had a good track record with the playoffs. I believe he averages like 14 in the playoffs for his career, which is not very good. I think he has to go nuclear if they want to do anything in the playoffs whatsoever.
I kind of stayed away from like
I didn't go fully one options by the way. Don't worry. I
stayed away, and I said Andrew Wiggins. Yeah. We haven't seen much from him. He's been out.
God, he was on Miami.
Yeah, he's been dealing with personal stuff, and Miami Heat basketball has not looked good. Like yesterday versus the Celtics, they put up like 17 points,
And it's funny because I think one of their acquisitions, like Davion Mitchell's been playing his best basketball.
Yeah, no, Davion's been looked really good. Bam has looked really good ever since
Bam's
the Butler deal.
Tyler Hero's still balling, yet they suck. You know what I mean? Yet they actually suck.
They're like on like 7-game losing.
Yeah, which is really bad, but it is what it is.
What is it for
Orlando?
Yeah, Orlando.
Orlando, I went with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope because I said that he is shooting the ball like absolute shit right now.
Yeah.
He's shooting 31% from 3. And I said if he catches like fire for the Orlando Magic, that could actually be really, really big for them.
Like kind of what he did with the Denver Nuggets.
And like defensively, bro, the Magic have still been elite.
Yeah. It's just the offense.
They're missing their shots.
They're 26th in offense.
Stats, Franz is getting his stats. They just need like one more guy. Bro. It's not like they're getting blown out in these games. They're just losing very close. Where it's like, they just need anyone else to do something. They need
to make a deal.
Which is why Jalen Suggs, like
Jalen
Suggs and Mo Wagner being out is so
detrimental for them.
Bad for them.
Yeah,
because Jalen Suggs, they're one other guy that could change like at least half of these games from being losses to being wins. You know what I mean? It's just the supporting cast has been so goddamn bad.
Wendell has looked terrible.
Yeah,
honestly, bro.
And I'll say this: both Franz and Paolo, more heavily on Paolo. I overrated their defense a lot. I think they're a lot worse defensively than I thought originally. Yeah, I thought they were both borderline like all defense. Mm-hmm. I don't think that anymore.
Why?
Because I watched Paolo Banchero play basketball, and I've seen G Leaguers blow by him. You know what I mean? Which is not.
And to add on to that, like not saying to justify for the defense, but like they have such a big load offensively because like they don't have any spacing, and like honestly, this is funny because They should have gone to get Vucevic
Yeah.
because like he would fit perfectly, like an
Imagine.
offensive center.
But like they don't want to ruin their defense
Yeah,
like
no,
the NBA,
exactly.
which I get.
I
That's
mean,
the
they-
thing
they
about
just- they don't-
Vucevic will never be on a championship contending team because of how bad he is defensively.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing for him.
For me, it was Cole Anthony, especially with
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs being out this season. I think he's an X factor. He really
for
needs
similar
to,
reasons. Like,
Yeah.
like just if
And then
he-
again, the shooting, like
Yeah.
they need shooters, you know. And they're like I mentioned, their offensive rating
there
is
were a lot
26
of them
right now.
this deadline, bro. Zach LaVine.
Exactly,
like,
but no, the contract.
Zach LaVine.
Moving
Simons,
the Hawks.
Atlanta. I said Zachary Sachet because the Atlanta Hawks have been missing another scoring option all season long.
Yeah.
We haven't ever seen Zachary Sachet. Obviously, he's a rookie. We haven't seen him in the postseason. So my whole thing is like, if he's one of those players who's a postseason riser,
Yeah.
that's a second option for them. You know what I mean? Scoring wise, maybe even third if Dyson Daniels steps up.
Dyson has looked.
You
really
could
solid.
go for a big as well. Nika
Yeah.
Okongwu's another option.
Okongwu's mine.
You say why?
And he's averaging 15, 10, and 50 on 57%, I think, since the All-Star break. He's looked amazing,
Yeah.
and they wanted to find, like, he's obviously the Capella replacement. I don't know if they're probably not starting him, but he is getting, like, the main minutes, if that makes sense. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to come off the
Yeah.
bench, but you're going to be that guy for us, you know, kind of like how the DeAndre Hunter was
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
Hawks, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
And now he's starting.
yeah. No,
Is-
he's off the bench.
Really?
Yeah,
So
he's
he's still gonna be eligible
sixth man.
for Sixth Man of the Year?
Yeah, they
Wow.
out of 15 games, he's only started 3
That's such an interesting race. Who do you got? Peyton Pritchard or DeAndre Hunter?
for 6 man.
Yeah.
Probably Peyton Pritchard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very close, man. It's I'd give it to Pritchard because I feel like he's more of a six man. You know what I mean? I'd like to
Yeah.
reward him more because he's literally the sixth man. But yeah, I mean, DeAndre Hunter is very deserving.
How much?
as well.
Like, yo, Pritchard dropped 22 today.
He is officially in NBA history in a single season the most threes off the bench.
Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a player in NBA history.
I mean, shout
So-
out, bro. He's hooping.
Yeah.
Um,
he is. Detroit
Detroit
basketball.
Yeah. Now the top 6.
Oh, yeah.
Who's yours for the Pistons?
So I went with Malik Beasley.
Same.
I'll say they're 8-0 when he scores more than 20 points.
Okay.
They're 15-4 when he scores 15 or more points.
Okay.
So when he's hitting his shots, they are clearly winning. The thing is,
just to add on to that, ever since the All-Star break, he's averaging 15.6 on 8.6 attempts.
yeah,
And he's shooting 44% from 3.
I'll say-
And
I'll-
what's their record then? 8-4.
yeah. I'll say this with shooters, it is very easy for them to get cold. It is very
Especially in the
risky.
playoffs.
This is the same thing with the draft. I get very scared whenever a team goes and drafts a pure shooter because when they are not shooting, what do they do?
What do they do?
Malik Beasley, I'll give him credit. He's improved drive into the rim as well, and he's improved a lot defensively as well. But when he is not shooting the ball, the Detroit Pistons quite literally have a 0% chance of beating what
No,
will,
100%,
what
yeah.
will probably be the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
If Malik Beasley is shooting the ball at an elite level, that gets a lot of the load off of Cade.
For sure.
Cade's going to start by getting majority of the defensive attention.
Yeah.
I think he will get doubled a lot at the beginning of
I
the
agree.
series. And he will have to pass it out to Malik Beasley, who will have to hit his shots. It's the same thing with Tobias Harris. He will have to hit his shots. It's the same thing with Jaden Ivey when he comes back. I'm very interested to see how he looks because the Pistons actually had they had a negative record when Jaden Ivey was in the lineup. They've been better ever since he went out. So I'm very interested to see how they look with Jaden Ivey now, especially because they're
'cause
they're a
he's been
completely
out-
different team.
He's
been
gonna
out
be
a
like
while.
back probably in the next like 2 weeks. I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Like if
He's
he
gonna be
does
back
come back, you know what I mean. So, that's my logic for Malik Beasley. It's literally just a wait and see how well he shoots if he can keep it up. I'm always so scared about shooters, especially
Yeah.
like coming from the draft,
And
to the
especially-
league, going
especially-
from the regular season to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I get very nervous.
Especially if you're playing with someone like Cade, you're gonna get the ball's gonna find
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because everybody's their first strategy is going after Cade Cunningham.
Exactly.
So you rarely play teams twice in a row, 3 times in a row
Yeah.
until the playoffs. So Malik Beasley, he goes into every game every night where Cade Cunningham starts. He's a great player, so he obviously starts off playing really well, and they start doubling him, and then Malik gets his open looks.
Yeah.
In a playoff series where Cade Cunningham, they start off with that strategy. If Malik starts shooting well, then teams are gonna be like, yo, we cannot leave this guy open.
100%.
Even to guard Cade Cunningham. Take someone off someone else. Never give Malik Beasley an inch of space. Can he contribute positively offensively with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a question. So step one is shooting well, continuing your great form of play. That's my reasoning from Malik.
For the Pacers, what's yours?
I went with Andrew Nembhard.
Yeah, I went with him exactly.
I
can I take that? I want to take the floor for this. Last season, during the playoff run, he averaged 14.9, 5.5 assists, and 3.3 rebounds. Obviously, that's bearing in mind a lot of games when Tyrese wasn't there. You know, like that Boston series, you take 2 games. If you can close 2 of those games, you might be in the NBA finals.
3 of them went to the wire. You know what I mean?
But like 2 of them at the start, they kind of choked. You know,
literally.
And with another year, like with experience, you know, obviously Tyrese has been playing much better than when he started the season. And I think Andrew Nembhard is gonna have that load offensively where they're gonna look at him sometimes to rely on him to score, to get baskets. You know, because like Tyrese Halliburton being the number 1 option, you're gonna be tired. You know what I mean? So like there's gonna be at times where it's like, okay, Nembhard, like you control the offense, you know, or like bring the ball up, and they're gonna try to look for him to get a shot off.
Yeah. My whole thing was his efficiency has like really fallen off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like and he was crucial for them last year. You know what I mean? So I think he's gonna be a big part of their offense. If you want to go elsewhere, they didn't have Ben Mathurin last year. That could be really big for them. Aaron Nesmith's obviously always a really big part. They need a third play. They need another player, one of their role players, to play that role where they're just like killing. It's like one of those back-breaking players, right? Like Andrew Nembhard is the kind of guy you help off of. You know, you go off him to help onto Pascal Siakam, and Andrew Nembhard's gonna have to hit those shots. He's been a little bit inefficient this season. He was very efficient last year. So can he replicate that this season? They will need him to.
They will, and to beat the Bucks, he needs to show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking about the Bucks,
Yeah.
who's your X factor for the Bucks?
Here's the thing: I really struggle with Milwaukee because I obviously Giannis and Dame. I went Kyle Kuzma.
Same.
My reasoning, I guess, is just like the Lakers. He played such a big factor in that series. I think now that they don't have Chris Middleton, he needs to fill in that role.
Yeah.
When they won the championship, Chris Middleton was such a big part of it.
For sure.
So now they rely on Kyle. That's why I didn't like the trade. Because now they rely on Kyle Kuzma to fill in that role. And I don't believe he can.
I know, but I think so far this season, like defensively, he's looked really good. And like a lot of people
Has
say,
he?
yeah, he has. Like again,
I don't think so.
I
have not been impressed with Kyle Kuzma. Even in Milwaukee.
Compared from like Middleton with two like ankle injuries, I do like the Kyle Kuzma fit, and I think he has bought into the Bucks. Mm-hmm. It's crazy because bro, he's already played 17 games on the Bucks.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like that. Like that's insane.
No, because he hasn't been injured once.
Yeah,
he's a healthy player.
He's averaging 13.5, 7 rebounds, and like
it's hard to go from goddamn Washington to Milwaukee, right? It's such a tough you know what I mean? It's a tough change.
Yeah.
To go from that culture to this culture, randomly, and then have this big of a weight on your shoulders. It's gonna be very tough for him. I'm excited to see what he does though.
I am hyped for the Bucks. I'm really hyped. Like I think the Bucks can go far, and I think people are ruling.
I wouldn't have done that trade still though. I'm keeping.
I would.
Really, bro?
Yeah. They also say about there's more luxury tax.
I get cap implications. Yeah. I do. I really do. But I'm not doing it for Kyle Kuzma, bro.
I think they're saving at least $50 million from this trade.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it for Kyle Kuzma. You're trying to win, bro.
Yeah, I guess
you're trying to win.
I guess your whole thing is you could have gone for a Hunter.
Yeah, you could have gone someone else, anyone else, bro. You could have saved so much money. You gotta pay DeAndre Hunter. That's the thing. But you know what I mean? I don't know, bro. I don't like the trade whatsoever. But anyway,
I like it. I actually like it a lot for the Bucks. And in the moment, I didn't really like it, but now looking back on it, I think it's gonna help Buck.
We'll go back to this when Kyle Kuzma goes 0 for 11 game 1.
Game 1 of the playoffs. Yeah. The Knicks. Who's yours?
I went with I actually don't.
I really hope we're different here.
I don't have stats for it. I went with Karl Anthony Towns, and I went with a sentence. Can he play defense? Mm-hmm. Karl Anthony Towns has looked really disappointing on the defensive end. He's had questions about it in the past, and it makes me wonder, right?
He just let Draymond Green score on him.
He was, yeah, which is quite possibly one of the most embarrassing things I've seen. What's it called? He went from being a center, sort of starting to figure out defensive end. Then Rudy Gobert comes, and he has to learn how to buy in on defensive end as a power forward, and he did it.
Yeah.
And then he moves back to being a center, and it sort of seems like he started off at square one again.
Yeah.
Where he's really struggling defensively.
Yeah.
Offensively, beast. You know what I mean? I have no worries about him whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it's that end of the basketball that I'm worried about.
And the thing is, it's like going into the season, I was really high on the Knicks. Like I'm like, okay, my finals, Knicks are going
Knicks
to,
Thunder.
you know, it's like I expected Mikal, OG to like be a front line where like you're not putting pressure on Cat. And obviously that's hard because when they have a big man coming to score, it's just hard to stop it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. For me, I went Mikal Bridges. I feel like the season, you know, especially for what they paid for him, they definitely overpaid. But like, there's been times where like you just forget he's on the basketball.
Hey man, if you win, I've always said it. You win the championship, it ain't no who
Exactly,
gives a damn
no, for
if
sure.
you're overpaid, bro. Yeah, it's no.
But I'm saying
overpay.
like this season he's looked not inconsistent, but there's sometimes I forget he's even on the floor, you know?
Yeah.
And even defensively, he hasn't been the same as he was before. One thing you know about Mikal is he'll always be healthy.
Yeah,
which is
literally. Has he still played like every game this season?
Yeah. He hasn't missed a game.
He just hit a big game winner as well.
Sorry?
He just hit a big game winner as well.
Yeah, that was nice.
Very, very good for him.
Against who was it?
Portland.
Portland. Okay,
Yep.
yes. Yeah.
Anyways, Boston?
Yeah, moving on to Boston. Who's your X factor for Boston?
I said Kristaps Porzingis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had the
We
same
might have
thing.
different reasonings though.
Yeah.
I said a big thing was against Cleveland's lineup, they really need to. I talked about this earlier on the episode. I accidentally let it slip out because I couldn't. But like they really need. They are because I thought about it, bro. If they don't have Kristaps Porzingis, their center is Al Horford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which they might have to play Xavier Tillman to match that size, which is not going to fare well for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jared Allen is going to feast, so they really need Kristaps Porzingis right now. Good thing about that, for them health-wise, right now he's out for like with an illness, which you know
It's not like an injury.
it's not like an injury.
But do you see it's like a very...
I heard it's a weird illness.
Yeah, it's a
like,
viral.
It's a viral, so
Yeah.
I don't think he's I think they're gonna take some time.
Get
with
well
him.
soon for him.
Yeah, but like they need that, and also like I mean he was just such a big part
Yeah.
of their run last year. He came back.
I actually went somewhere different.
Yeah.
I went KP's health. It's kind
Yeah.
of similar to you. And the reason he's my X factor, so far he's played only 32 games this season, and they're 20-12 with him in the lineup.
Yeah.
You mentioned big part, and obviously there were some games where they really needed him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he only played 7 games last playoffs.
And
run.
he was a massive part. in those
And he was
games.
huge with it. But I think last season with the Celtics, not to discredit anything, they didn't really need him. They could afford him. They kind of won. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say they breached the.
He was a borderline all-star.
No, but I'm saying during the playoffs.
All right.
Like he gave you 1 or 2 games, but I'm saying last season you kind of cakewalk through the East without KP. You know what I mean? But I think this
And that's not
season
gonna happen.
with what you mentioned
Yeah.
about the Cavs,
Okay.
and that's why I have his health specifically as an X factor.
That makes sense, but I don't think you. I think you never know. Without Kristaps Porzingis, maybe they'd lose some of those
No,
games.
for
to
sure. Like
Dallas.
I'm saying, I'm not
they,
saying
they might lose
I'm
in
not-
those closeout games against Indiana. Maybe they lose a couple of those.
Yeah.
I don't remember which ones he played exactly.
Mavs, I think he had in the finals. He
He
had a big
played
game.
every game in the finals,
Well,
and then
but,
played 2 against Indiana.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention, I'm not saying that like he wasn't a big part. Like obviously that finals he was huge, but they clearly cakewalk through the East without him. You know what I mean? With the games he didn't play, but I think this season is gonna be much different. Competition's gonna be harder.
Like they definitely need him this year. You
And
can
if
make
it-
a case that they didn't need him last year.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I don't like to play
Like
that
who-
game because I think
And no, I'm not saying that.
it might be you never know, bro.
Yeah,
The
like
basketball's
I'm
so
saying,
weird.
I'm
like-
saying you were able to win last season with him only playing 7 games, but this season you need him to be
no,
healthy.
but
to
I'm
go
saying
far.
like you make a case for that. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, bro. It's an opinion.
Yeah,
I'm saying my opinion. I never like making claims like that because
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, basketball's so weird. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
anything can happen.
goddamn like Al Horford being injured changes the entire
No,
series.
for
You
sure,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't. But this year for sure, they need him a lot more than last year. I'll
who
tell
do
you
they
that much.
go against?
There's no doubt.
Magic, Cleveland,
They would go.
Magic, Cleveland,
No.
Pacers.
No, they went against Atlanta, Boston. Boston, right?
Yeah.
They went against Atlanta.
Okay. And then Cleveland. Okay, yeah.
We say Magic.
Yeah,
Magic
yeah.
played. Magic
Yeah.
the 5th seed.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought I was thinking about this year.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you and I
yeah.
were speaking about potential matchup for that.
Tyler versus Tatum would be a very fun.
Yeah,
matchup.
that kind of would be sick as a
That'd be
first
cool.
round.
That'd be very cool.
It's gonna be a blowout.
Cleveland.
Celtics in 4.
Cleveland. This could be.
For me, I
go
went
any angle.
DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
And it's offensively and also defensively. Like you're gonna rely on him to be that stopper.
Yeah.
You know, when you're versing a team like Boston, when you're versing like a team like the Knicks, maybe it might be a bit different. But he needs to step up. And with the Cavs, he's averaging 14 and a half points on 51 shooting, 51% shooting. And I mean, clearly you're on a 16-game winning streak. You're hooping. He has come off the bench after 3 games starting. I think he's gonna be huge for them. Yeah. Like if you want to go far, DeAndre Hunter needs to have a good, at least defensive series. You know, defensive run.
My player was Darius Garland, and again, this is another player that kind of slipped out earlier in the episode. But then my stats for it, and this kind of shocked me. He shoots. What's it called? He's averages 17 points per game, but he shoots 43% from the field in the playoffs, which is a lot worse than him in the regular season. I think last year, it is the difference between he's been such a big difference between the Cavs this year and last year. Because the only real additions were Ty Jerome all of a sudden becoming a good basketball player, and that's it. You know what I mean? Nobody else. Now DeAndre Hunter came in the deadline, but like they were good before the deadline. So. My whole thing is Darius Garland. He really needs to perform, man. And if if he folds like he has in previous playoffs, I'm confident Donovan Mitchell stepping up because he's proven consistently that he can.
He's a playoff riser.
I'm confident in Evan Mobley, like at least maintaining that because he has in the past. He played better in the playoffs last year than he did in the regular season.
Something big about him is the defense. Like, you're going to rely on him for the defense.
I don't think Jared Allen is going to be like an X factor. I think they expected too much from him. The whole quote about the lights being too bright. They expected too much. He had too big of a role. Now he has a lesser role. I think he could be a lot more effective in the playoffs. It is up to Darius Garland to me. Mm-hmm. Does he shoot well? Does he play well? Does he buy in on the defensive end? If yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers could very well win a championship. And if no, they will be upset a lot sooner than we think.
I think the one weakness about the Cavs is like Darius Garland being so small. Like defenses will look to hunt him. And I was listening to a podcast with Ty Jerome.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always think Trey Jones. Ty Jerome, and like someone was asking him, like, what's like, is Kenny Atkinson's a player coach, and what does that mean? And like he was saying that, like, Kenny Atkinson, like, yes, he plays. He calls runs and stuff like that, and calls plays and stuff. But like sometimes he'll just be like, "Okay, go." Like, do you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he'll trust us and stuff like that, which I think is huge and really important. And like, there's no coincidence that you'll see a lot of like former Warriors coaches go and be great. Like, for example, Mike Brown, as soon as he joined the Sacramento
Well, not
Kings.
anymore.
Yeah, now he's
I don't know about now, but because the homie's kind of
future Suns coach.
Yeah, or Raptors, bro. If we finally move on from Darko.
You think so?
No, we won't.
Yeah. Okay.
If we do, it'll be after the next season. If we disappoint next season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say, like, to end it off, the NBA is so goddamn weird. Like, how the hell did Ty Jerome just randomly start playing good? Like, I just don't get it. The NBA is so weird. Like, just randomly Ty Jerome just decides to be a good basketball player.
And
I don't
also,
understand.
sorry, like, we're talking about...
It's never happened to me. Where are my players coming out of nowhere just playing well?
We were talking about Payton Pritchard earlier, and it's like, what's, like, Payton Pritchard and Ty Jerome, like, in garbage time, they would actually try to get those minutes. You know what I mean? And they're like, yo, I get like 5 minutes to hoop. I'm gonna go out there and hoop. You know what I mean?
Is that the difference? Do you think that might
I think it has to do with mindset, because it's like,
that's a good point. I've never thought about that.
Because I think about as a coach,
I'm just like, yo, what? Like, why the hell is Malachi Flynn just randomly become good, bro, for us? Like, you know what I mean? Why does it not?
Shout out. I mean, he dropped 50.
Yeah, that is his one career highlight. He's now riding the bench in Charlotte. So
my goal.
Shout out Malachi Flynn.
We go to the West.
The Western Conference.
It's gonna be more interesting.
Yeah.
We'll start 11. For me, I had simply Beal's health.
Yeah.
Like, he's been so in and out of the lineup, paying $55 million. You need him. You need him there because, at the end of the day, you're better when he's there.
Yeah.
You know.
I kind of went with I want to go Booker and KD, but what's it called? I want to go Grayson Allen because I think like there's been stretches where he just becomes like a Super Saiyan God, you know? What I mean? So I think if he does that, they might be able to win a game or two because I think you know what you're gonna get from Booker and KD. I don't think they go explosive in the playoffs. Or they will go explosive in the playoffs, especially how the season's gone. But Grayson Allen, you know, I mean, that's a role player. He's just there to see if his shots fall, and if his shots fall, and he's gonna get the green light.
I really hope we get the Suns in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't. I want Clippers, and I want teams that deserve it.
Yeah, true.
I mean? I don't want Sacramento or Phoenix.
I don't want Sacramento. I either want Clippers or Suns. Just seeing Kevin Durant in the playoffs. That's kind of why. But I guess like
dude,
that means Clippers.
It's just gonna
Clippers
be dead,
do deserve it.
Yeah, Clippers very well do deserve it.
Like a good defensive team.
Exactly, and you never know. The Clippers have a lot more of a chance against the Lakers than the goddamn what's it called? Phoenix Suns.
The who against who?
It's the Lakers. Or the now the Nuggets, I guess.
Yeah.
But whoever it is, bro. The
Yeah,
Clippers have a better
exactly.
chance, I promise you.
Moving on, Mavs.
Yeah.
I went Brandon Williams.
I actually went Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Because I said their only chance of winning a game is if Klay Thompson turns back the clock.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they have absolutely zero chance. Even if Najee Marshall drops 34. Their only chance of winning is if Klay Thompson becomes 2016 Klay Thompson.
Yo.
Which is a 0.5%.
The Wizards
chance,
are leading the Nuggets right now.
No way.
With 30 seconds left.
Good for them. Maybe they can catch up to my Raptors. You never know. But, Wizards aren't eliminated from playing. You know that? Fun fact.
Bro,
Fun fact
Brandon Williams has been hooping. Like 25, 19, 13, 31. Shout out to him. Shout out to bro. Again, one of those like one of those AJ Lawson situation where like no, I don't think he was a two-way, but he was hooping.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Next up, Sacramento.
Sacramento, yeah. Who's your X factor for Sacramento?
Again, like I feel bad because it's another number one option. This is DeMar DeRozan because I think if they're gonna win a playing game, it's gonna be DeMar, right? It's not gonna be anyone else. I don't think Devonta Sabonis has been injured a little bit. They need him healthy if they want to.
JV's been hooping.
JV's been good for them, but again, like he's just the a keep you afloat type of center. He's not gonna do much.
Facts.
He's not gonna do much. I promise you that. I just see DeMar. DeMar has never lost. Oh no, he has actually in San Antonio. But I feel like he always turns up in the 9-10 playing game. So that's just my point. I think they'll win one playing game low key, but.
You think they'll beat? Yeah, I guess they'd beat the Suns.
Yes. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking whoever's playing the Suns over the Suns.
I went Malik Monk ever since Zach LaVine has come in town. He's averaging 15, 6, and 4. Doesn't sound great, but like he's really taking on that point forward.
Good for you getting stats on the Sacramento Kings, right? You know what? I saw the Kings. I said, you know what? Screw it, DeMar, bro.
I
moved on. Then I saw Dallas. Screw it, Klay Thompson, bro. He's gonna turn back the clock. And I saw Phoenix. I didn't even write anything for them. I just said, Grayson Allen off the top of my head.
Whatever.
So. Move on.
Clippers.
So I feel bad. I said another number one, technically number 2 option, Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, thank God. I had the same thing.
Good.
And I want the reason
you have Kawhi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, weird.
Who do you have?
I have Kawhi.
Okay, yeah. That's why I think we were talking. I'm like, yo, like, is this fine to do?
No, it's okay, dude. Number one options. I have reasoning for other than them. They are the best player. If your reason is they are the best player, then that's like
no. The reason I say this is because last season during the finals, I had PJ Washington as my X factor.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, he can't be an X factor because they need him to win. And I'm like, bro, you need your X factor to win.
Yeah,
too.
you know it's gonna change a little bit.
That's why when you went like goddamn Tyler Hero and Kobe White, I was like, bro, what are we doing here?
But I mean. The play-in, that's the play-in. I don't really care.
For me, I had Kawhi because, obviously, with those knee injuries, we've seen him turn up sometimes, and he had that game winner not too long against the Kings.
Oh, yes,
right.
I think you're talking about Philly. I was like, how are you forgetting who that was against?
No. He had that game winner recently, and he's been playing much better. Obviously, off those minutes restriction, but. The question is, are we going to get playoff Kawhi?
Yeah.
You know? And that's why he's my X factor because, the team was doing really well without him.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, you're obviously going to either play the Nuggets probably or probably actually the OKC Thunder.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to go Kawhi because I think the...
Kawhi? What?
I wanted to go with Kawhi.
Oh, so you went with Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I wanted to go with Kawhi because,
You went with Kawhi.
Yeah. I wanted to go with Kawhi, and I went with Kawhi
Yeah.
because of the underlying factor that he has not played. He has not not missed a game in the playoffs since 2020, the bubble,
Yeah.
where the Clippers blew an embarrassing
3-1
lead
to the
against the
Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets. He wasn't very good.
The start
In the
of
past
Nikolai
2
Jokic.
playoffs, he's only played two games for them. You know what I mean? So we haven't seen Kawhi in a playoff setting since he brought the Clippers to the conference finals for the first time in their history, where he got injured, and who knows what happens if he's healthy. You know what I mean? That's
This
my
was
whole point. This was the year against Phoenix where Phoenix made the finals, 2021.
yes, you're right.
So my whole point is will they get healthy Kawhi, and will healthy Kawhi be playoff Kawhi? It's because it's been so long since we've seen
Exactly.
it. So I don't know what to expect.
I don't know
from
what to,
him.
and also especially with all those injuries, I don't know if he can be that.
And we're
guy.
talking about winning. The
Yeah.
Clippers, the Western Conference is a weird thing where the 7 and 8 seed genuinely might have a chance at
Exactly,
winning a
yeah.
series.
And
you
like-
know what I mean? It's not like Miami Heat, no one gave them a chance. They ended up
Yeah.
winning. That was a crazy story.
Yeah.
We're going to these series to be like the Minnesota Timberwolves could
it's
genuinely
and
beat
we
the
had
Denver
them as
Nuggets.
our like
You know what I
underdog
mean?
team. You know what I mean?
Like obviously I'm not gonna pick them against the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, no, for
But
sure.
there is a slim chance. There's a much larger chance that they beat the Thunder than the Magic beat the Cavs or the Hawks beat the Celtics. You know what I mean? I promise you that much. So I went with Kawhi Leonard for that reason.
The next one, Timberwolves.
The Minnesota Timberwolves. I went with Julius Randle.
Same thing.
I said, can he finally play well?
Can he find his, not that, but his role? You know, like obviously.
Forget role. He freaking sucks in the playoffs.
Yeah, he does.
No, I don't think there's sucking and there's what he's done, bro. 17 points on 34% from the field. 34.
And then 17 is like you're being you're that
We
guy,
have
you know?
that would be the worst shooting on the Toronto Raptors. No one shoots that bad.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we're processing how bad 34%.
No, he's someone who
Because that's not.
has to prove
It's not
himself.
one game. You can have one game where you have to. But
It's
he's
like,
played
bro,
multiple playoff series.
yeah.
He's played against. He's played.
2 or 3.
I think he's played. No, he actually might have only played one because
Really?
he wasn't healthy.
Oh yes, last season he wasn't healthy.
Yeah, so he's played one playoff series,
Yeah.
and he was abysmal. So we
Yeah.
need to see.
And he has a lot to prove
I
going
feel
into
like
his
he
contract.
has. I
year.
feel like he has played a playoff.
Chuck that, but like
will
the
check.
reason I have Randall is like in the last I kind of spoiled this earlier in the episode, but they're 12-0 when Randall has played. You know, that's huge. And in that stretch, he's averaging 19, 7, and 5 on 49%. And I think the chemistry has finally looked apart. Like I don't know if you remember that game against the Raptors where Gobert got that 3 seconds in the offensively, and then Randall's like, "Here, just take this pass." So I feel like the chemistry's finally clicking.
Jordan Poole had a game winner, by the way.
No way.
Yeah.
W.
So, holy. Jordan Poole is a baller, by the way. I don't care. I'm still holding on to my stock in Jordan Poole.
Yeah,
forever.
Sam. I never.
Forever and ever, bro. That's my dog. They did him dirty.
Damn.
yeah.
The Nuggets are the 3rd seed now.
He's tough. He's tough. By the way, the Julius Randle, he did actually play. I forgot 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, so he
when they
played
played
2.
Cleveland and then they lost to the Miami.
And then Hawks, right? They also.
No.
No, I'm saying the next season.
Oh
when they
yeah,
lost
sorry,
to Hawks,
yeah. Oh god. Borderline's been terrible and all. He played a little bit better in the what's it called?
They beat the Cavs.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, and lost
He
the
shot
Heat.
29% from the field against Atlanta.
Abysmal.
Which is genuinely like.
Do you know his full playoff stats? What you said, right? 30.
Yeah, 17 on 33%
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
He has a lot to prove, especially with the contract.
Sorry,
year, 'cause, like,
34%.
there isn't a lot of teams with money, and like the teams are like
Yeah.
Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why he's kind of been finding his role. And I think one thing that will help is that if he's not that guy, you know, like obviously.
But he wasn't against. He wasn't with the in the second run that he had with the Knicks
Versus the
versus
Hawks.
Cleveland. No, versus Cleveland, and then versus Miami. Brunson was the guy.
Yeah, I
You know
guess.
what I mean?
I see what you mean.
He
I
was
guess
the
he's
second option at times third in that series.
Yeah, and now he's the
You
second.
know,
Third
now
option to who?
RJ.
Yeah, true.
Like RJ was playing better than Julius Randle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not a high bar, but
Yeah.
like he was not very good.
Moving on to the Golden State Warriors. Who's
So,
your X Factor?
I could go Draymond Green here, because I mean or Kevon Looney. I really wanted to. I do want to talk a little bit about Kevon Looney because in that playoff run, he was so crucial. This is what happens on the first episode of Mike's guys. Because he was so crucial for them in the championship run.
Yeah.
I wanted to go Kevon Looney, but I ended up going with Jimmy Butler because I do think like, will they get vintage Jimmy Butler?
I went with Jimmy Butler too.
That's my question. Vintage Jimmy Butler averaged as this is the first time I've actually ever checked his stats from those runs. And one of them he averaged 27 on 50%
He was
shooting.
insane.
50.
Bro. He was insane. And the reason I went Jimmy Butler is because at times this season, you're not getting that aggressive Jimmy. It's just like, and there's so many Warriors fans on the timeline, which pisses me off because it's like we're paying $60 million to a dude to just sit in the corner. Like, yes, fair enough. Okay, you know, but like he brings much more to that. Yeah. But I hope he's just taking it lax during the regular season.
Yeah.
And the playoffs is when he turns up to like playoff.
This
Jimmy.
is the Jimmy we expected.
And that's the thing. We've seen times where
dude, what do you think he did when he brought that 8 seed Miami Heat team to the
exactly.
Finals? He looked so mid in the regular season. He turned into vintage Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. Yeah. So can he do that again?
I also had Brandon Pajemski. He's really stepped up ever since Jimmy's come in town. And I think the whole team's rejuvenated.
It's funny that I went with Butler because for the Warriors, I had so many options. I was also thinking Gary Payton.
Yeah.
I love Gary Payton,
bro, he's
so much. I love Gary Payton so much.
But I guess we'll see. I really hope we got playoff Jimmy because that conference
You gon' need it. You gon' need it.
I'm sniffing that conference finals.
Okay. you better focus on the first round. Of the
OKC,
playoffs.
KFC.
Currently, you're not even going to reach OKC because they're playing the goddamn Denver Nuggets. So, you know what I mean?
Warriors in 5.
Okay. Let's move on for any more abysmal takes.
Lakers.
LA.
Los Angeles Lakers.
Who's yours?
I went Jackson Hayes.
Okay.
I think he's going to be so important as the starting center.
Yeah.
Defensively, we were all scared about that. I'm not saying it's looked the best, but it's looked good. You know, like the Lakers defensively have been looked amazing. He's averaging like 8 and 6. He's not really playing that many minutes, which is kind of surprising. Yeah. But I think he's a huge X factor because if the Lakers want to go far, they need Jackson Hayes.
I actually went with a duo here, and Jackson Hayes is involved. I went Luka and Jackson Hayes.
Yeah.
So, like, again, we've talked about this multiple times on the episode. Bro, the lob threat, Luka Doncic turns even the most mid center in NBA history. He would turn him into a goddamn all-star.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how that looks in the playoffs. I'm interested to see also the sentence for Luka Doncic. Will he play defense, bro? Because he did at times. Their one win against the Boston Celtics was the one game he played defense. You know what I mean? Granted, he was dealing with injuries in those playoffs. Technically healthy right now.
Yeah.
Will he play defense?
I still think he doesn't look 100%. I think
he'll never be 100%.
I think by the playoffs time, like he'll be good.
But he'll never be 100%. Like, you know what I mean? This is what basketball players gotta understand. Like, if you're never gonna
if
be 100%,
you're playing, you're
and maybe credit to Nico Harrison. Maybe he's just never gonna buy in on the defensive end. So we make this trade.
Jeez, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's good, but like, I'm just trying to give him any sort of rationale.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I'm really curious for Luka this playoffs because like after what happened this trade deadline, like there has to be a chip on your shoulder, like wanting to go be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm dying at the jokes and the memes of what's it called? Everyone's saying like Nico Harrison opened the gates of hell to the Mavericks organization, and now like everybody's getting injured. Like literally, it's like God is punishing him right now for everything that he's done to that franchise.
It's bad. They have like 7 players.
I'm sorry to all Mavericks fans out there, man. I promise it'll get better.
Yeah, hopefully.
It will eventually. Kyrie's gonna be out now. The
Grizzlies.
Yeah, Memphis. I said. I'm sorry. I said John Morant.
Bro,
I didn't go for that many number one options, but I didn't say it just because he needs to be good for them to win. I'm saying it because he's been very underwhelming this season, right? And they need.
He's picked it up
he has picked it up as of late, but he's been very underwhelming. He's averaging 22 on 45, which is not vintage John Morant.
And he's missed a lot of games.
I think he needs to be the number one option for them, and he has not been. I think genuinely, you could say Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, no, Jaren
is the number one option for them. So that's my rationale.
I went Jalen Walls. And I'm saying Jalen Walls is defense.
Oh, never mind. I changed my mind. I want to see Zach Edey. Can Zach Edey, as a rookie, play as a starting caliber center in the playoffs?
And for me, it's like Jalen Walls has had those games where, like, defensively he's clamping, like, I saw it firsthand versus
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You know? But can that translate to the playoffs? So
He's
like,
fallen off a little bit though.
he has like in the rookie.
It's
we were
funny.
talking
They kind
yesterday.
of reversed. Ja and Jalen Wills. Yeah, I take it back. I don't want to say Ja. I want to say Zach Edey because it's gonna be very
'Cause
interesting.
As a Grizzlies, you're either versing the Lakers,
Yeah.
or the Rockets, or the Nuggets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, versus the Nuggets on Jamal Murray against the Lakers on like Luka Doncic.
I'm saying the same thing for Zach Edey there though. Like against
Sengun,
Nikola Jokic,
Jokic.
against Alperen Sengun.
Jackson Hayes being lobbed by
with Luka Doncic, you know what I mean? Chet Holmgren / Isaiah Hartenstein.
No, exactly, like,
these
their
rookies
rookies
are
are
gonna.
gonna
They
have-
have a big role, bro.
and they're
A
hooping
really
right now,
big
so
role.
they're gonna rely on them.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, an interesting thing about Zach Edey, one March Madness, he got upset by a 16 seed. One March Madness, he made the national championship and lost. So, two absolute opposite sides of the
So
spectrum.
he's somewhat of a winner.
Yeah, so a little bit, or a complete choke artist. So, you know.
I mean, if they get the
Granted,
Warriors
they won't
first
be
round-
playing no 16 seed in the first round. I can tell you that. So I don't think them losing will be as embarrassing as that.
the Houston Rockets.
I went with Amen Thompson.
I was gonna go Emin. Again, I wasn't trying to go the best players.
Yeah, Alperen Sengun's their best player.
Okay, but like cut it out, bro.
Yeah, no, but like I didn't say.
I know what your reasoning is because he's been so great. I went Dylan Brooks. I think defense.
Not even because he's been so great. I think he needs to be better.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be a number one scoring option consistently.
Yeah.
Because the Houston Rockets do not have that right
And
now.
talking about like kind of again, I'm not comparing him to Jimmy Butler, but like where I said where Jimmy Butler won't be aggressive, I feel like we get that from Amen, especially
Yeah.
with like they've become healthy again. But I see what you're trying to say. If they want to go far, Amen Thompson has to be that guy.
Because, bro, who are they going to in the clutch right now? Who are they going to?
Jalen
I don't
Green.
know. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Jalen Green. You know what I mean? But he's so on and off. He's so hot and cold. You don't know what you're getting from Jalen Green. And a consistent scoring option, I believe that Amen Thompson will be that guy. If you want to argue Alperen Sengun, then that's my X factor. If you want to argue Jalen Green, then that's my X factor. It's just the X factor will be who will step up and be that number one scorer.
Yeah.
If you want to go someone lesser, I'd go Tari Eason.
Yeah, defense. He had a
Defense,
really
the
good game last
defense,
game.
and I think he could be a potential starter for them. You know what I mean? Fred,
I think Dylan Brooks, like that grittiness, you just have to make sure that it doesn't cross the line where it's hurting the team, but it's helping the
dude,
team.
Dylan Brooks had some great signature
Yeah,
moments
he
in
does.
the first time Memphis made the playoffs. He was low key their
Yeah.
best player.
But I think then it got to a point where like he was like
He's doing too
talking
much. Yeah,
exactly. You're
he's
doing too much, and now it's just like, yo, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, no, and like, his role was too big.
And
And it goes back to the thing about Jared Allen. Like,
Yeah.
some of these players, you can make their role a little bit too big. You know what I mean? I'll say as well. Like, I think Fred's not back. I think they need Fred back because
He's
they've been.
back.
Is he back? And
Yeah,
now they're starting
he's
to win.
healthy, yeah.
It's very interesting. Fred VanVleet has sucked this season,
Yeah.
stat wise.
But he's again.
They're
he's a
winning
winner.
with
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
You know
He's a
what I
winner.
mean? He's a winner, bro.
Yeah.
And number one
Do you see him returning back to Houston?
to Ime Udoka, please do not give Fred VanVleet the ball on clutch. Also,
Yeah, he might be that guy.
if he is that guy, I promise you we're not making it
Unless
very
you're in the NBA Finals, don't give him.
That's a good point. There you go.
Right?
Give it to them in the finals.
The Denver Nuggets. Yo, one thing I want to say, I was so low on the Denver Nuggets, and I want to apologize.
Yeah. I was like,
I want to give my flowers. Obviously, Jokic, we know what he's going to do. Jamal Murray stepped it up. But my goddamn X factor,
yeah,
Christian Braun.
yeah, same.
He's looked amazing. He's averaging 15 and 5 on 57%
Yeah.
from the field.
My question for Christian Braun.
And defensively, he's looked good too.
Yeah, my question for him is, can he be their Bruce Brown? Bruce averaged
Exactly.
20 and in their playoff run. Bruce averaged 12 and 4. He shot like 50% from the field,
The
and
hustle.
with elite, and I mean all defensive level
Yeah.
defense in those playoffs. Can Christian Braun be that for them? I don't think they start Russell Westbrook. I don't think they can afford to start Russell Westbrook. He would be my X factor, just as a matter of will he fall off or not.
Also,
know?
another one is MPJ. Like you're
that's a
like
good
he's their
point.
main guy to shoot threes.
Yeah.
And like as a perimeter scorer, so you need to make sure you're
Yeah, make sure
you're
he's
hitting
hitting
your
it.
shots.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. They had a couple. They had a couple. I can't lie. That's a good one.
OKC.
Okay, see, I said Chet Holmgren.
I went with Isaiah Hartenstein, and
Because-
the reason I said that is because at the end of the day, you know what Chet's gonna bring.
Here's the thing. I don't know what Chet. Chet Holmgren
That is
last
true.
year in the playoffs, 16 points per game, and on as a center, 49% from the field,
And
which is bad.
the reason I say iHeart is because
Yeah.
I'm kind of going both of them together because when they're both playing, their record is 9-2, and that's look great.
Dude, my thing is Chet looked really. I also want to go J-Dub for this reason, but like I have more faith in J-Dub, and I think J-Dub played better than Chet last year.
Yeah, he didn't
Chet
have
looked
a.
really like
He
he did not look very.
And
good
I
against
think
Dallas.
having a guy like Isaiah Hardenstein
Yeah.
beside you, obviously like, because the thing is with Chet, like yes he can play the 5, but he is small. In
Dude,
the
a lot
sense
of the
like,
time in playoffs,
weight-wise.
and I think this is like the moral of the story for this episode. It's the third option. Can they bring you something that the other team's third option can't?
Can't,
Because the
yeah.
third option is where the gap level really falls off. And that's why OKC are as good as they are. That's why Cleveland are as good as they are. Because their third options are Evan Mobley and Chet Holmgren, who are two
Yeah.
not borderline, all-star
Yeah, and
all-star
their fourth
caliber
options
players.
are like dominant big men.
Chet Holmgren's coming off a big injury.
He is that's
He
another thing
looked
for
a
him.
little bit poor, coming off obviously,
Yeah.
but he just had a big game. So
He's-
maybe the
he's starting
scoring
to-
is back.
Yeah, he's starting to like.
he's picking it up a little bit.
Ramp it up a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, but I think I went with Isaiah Hardenstein, but I feel like that's 2-2, and I'm really curious to see how do they do the playoff rotations.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna have both?
Yeah,
of them
I was
on?
literally just gonna say Mark Dagnall's another one.
Yeah,
How
like-
will he manage all that depth?
Are you gonna have both of them, or are you gonna like
You
staggered
cannot
minutes?
play the lineups. Usman Jang is playing minutes right now. You cannot play Usman Jang in the
Even
playoffs.
Jay
Mark.
Will. Like at times,
You cannot play Jay Will in the
Like,
playoffs.
I think the way
you
he's-
have to stagger Isaiah Hartenstein and Shell. You can start them
Exactly.
both together, but you gotta stagger their minutes.
start them both together, finish them both together.
Exactly,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Literally,
And like
so.
again, even if one of them fouls
Bro,
up, you have
Isaiah Hartenstein played for Tom Thibodeau, man. He
Yeah,
can play he can play
exactly,
48
bro.
minutes, bro. Just
Just
keep him
like-
out there all the time. It's
yeah,
fine.
bro,
It's
you'll
fine.
be good.
Caruso's health is a big thing as well. He literally plays every other game. I
Yeah,
swear he gets
literally.
injured so much. But
Lou
yeah.
Dort also like offensively. I think
The
like,
Dortcher chamber?
I
Yo,
think-
they need to talk about him for defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
He's not
Especially
getting
on the
enough.
best
Brother,
defensive-
no, bro, like I don't think you understand. I want you to check like every team the Thunder play, their best player who's being guarded by Lou Dort gets clamped up every goddamn time. Jalen, for some reason, he's on Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown got clamped the
Yeah.
other day. Like it's nuts. It's
Yeah, I know.
insane. I'm sure Curry's felt that before. You know
For
what I
sure,
mean?
yeah.
Like everybody,
like
Lou
and
Dort
it's- and
guards.
The thing is, it's like the size,
Scotty.
the
They,
aggressiveness.
they played Scotty, and Scotty had like one of his worst games of the season. It was
Yeah.
insane. You know what I mean?
But I think offensively, like I think with how the Lakers have been running their defensive scheme, if you see them, second round,
Yeah.
is they're probably gonna leave Dort open.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like let Dort beat
That's the
us.
thing, though. Dort.
He'll light it up. He'll light it up. He has those those bubble moments.
Yeah, I always say, man, I'm so grateful that I'm A, not in the West, and
Yeah.
B, not contending right
Trust
now
me,
because there
bro.
are too many good teams.
Trust me, you don't want to be in the West.
Because
Like,
there
bro,
are too many
dead
good
ass,
teams.
if you're,
right now.
like the Warriors would be like a fifth seed, I think I saw in the East right now.
Bro, I saw the Heat would be missing the playoffs. I think Atlanta would be missing the
Yeah.
playoffs if they were in the West. Yeah, it's nuts to me. But anyways,
Do you have anything else to say? Like, I'm excited for the playoffs, man. At the end of the day,
yeah, the Chicago Bulls lost in my life.
I mean, to be fair,
The
though,
Raptors are making the play-in, bro. It's so over. It's actually over. Shout out the Bulls though; they gave a good effort. Trey Jones, like you said, went off.
yeah, I told you your stats.
Vucevic is back. Maybe that's the reason they got them lost. So
He's been
You know
mad,
what I mean?
bro.
He tried to save a little bit of value.
I wanna before we wrap up, we did this a lot at the start of the thing. Who do you have going to the finals? I don't need analysis.
I like this. Because it might change weekly.
Yeah.
My current matchup is, and I don't think I'm going to change it, is OKC versus Milwaukee. Again, I went at Kyle Kuzma earlier, but I think Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo will be enough. It's just, man, I'm so intrigued to see who can stop Cleveland. Here's the thing. I think if Milwaukee plays Cleveland in the second round, that's bad for them. I know we just did the playoff matchup and we had them beating them. I would revise that.
What?
Milwaukee versus Cleveland. I
Yeah.
think Cleveland beats them.
Really?
But here's the thing. I think Milwaukee beats Boston. I think Boston can beat Cleveland. You know what I mean? Because sports math is so weird.
Wait, 1 second.
Yeah. So there's a scenario where Milwaukee plays like someone. Oh wait, no, Boston would never play Cleveland.
They would
in the
not,
second round.
yeah.
So yeah, they would need to play. They would need to beat either Boston or
I-
Cleveland. They would need someone else. My whole point is, I think they would need someone else to beat Cleveland.
I was telling you this in the car. I genuinely think if the OKC got eliminated in the second round, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
Right. I am shocked, but it's like okay, there's so much talent, but I think if I had to say, I'm going Cleveland, OKC, which is kind of a generic answer.
Yeah. You can't go 2-1 seeds. Come on. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're both insane.
Fine. I can't go. Cleveland Warriors, fight me.
Okay.
Cleveland Warriors. What's yours?
Yeah. No, low key after that, I might change it a little bit.
I'm just trolling, but it would be Thunder Cavs.
Go Boston.
Nuggets.
No. Boston OKC.
Boston OKC.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm confident in OKC getting it done. This year.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
very
so.
confident in them.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Let us know the audio quality. I genuinely think out of all
I'm very scared to see if Nanji's mic is still working because
is already
you
checked.
check
Yeah.
after that goddamn drop. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I think if I had to say, this is my favorite episode I've ever filmed.
Yeah, it feels good.
And I've been hyped. Yusuf knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, leave a like, check socials. We're out. Peace.